you and you too. Good weekend. See you at Friday. Gonna be a good one. Let's do it.
They didn't touch gloves. They didn't smile. They didn't even blink. In the bright glare of the United Center lights, Khamzat leaned forward like he was already cutting through space. And Dricus didn't take a single step back. Security slid in a half-second too late, just long enough for the temperature to drop and for the entire arena to feel that old electric question. What happens when an unstoppable rush finally meets a man who refuses to yield? It wasn't trash talk that sold this fight. It was that silent half-second where both men looked certain they already knew the ending. But that wasn't the whole story.
This is the only thing I want to get out of this, is the fact that I want to be the greatest fighter ever. No doubt, I want to be the GOAT. That's what I'm chasing. That's when I started the sport, what I wanted to be. And I believe the only way to get to that, just to get into that conversation, is to fight the best of the best. And Khamzat Chimaev is the next best guy.
This isn't a pay-per-view. It's an argument about legacy wearing 4-ounce gloves. For Plessis, the belt isn't the destination. It's the ticket into a room he's been chasing since day one. The room with names like Jones, GSP, Silva, and DJ printed on the walls. For Chimaev, this is the night the myth either becomes law or evaporates under championship lights. Odds makers lean toward Chimaev all week. The crowd chants skewed his way, and the conversations in gyms everywhere ended with the same sentence: if he gets him down early, it's a wrap. And yet, the champion kept smiling the tired, dangerous smile of a man who hears the doubt and uses it like oxygen. Still, pressure has a habit of finding the smallest crack.
There's no doubt. That is 100%. This is not a title fight where some people say, I think they should have given the shot to this guy or this guy or this guy. Everybody, this is the fight. And that's what I think a champion is, fighting the guy that people know is the next best guy. And that's what I plan on doing, always.
From the beginning, Dricus wasn't just planning to win fights. He was planning to outlive them. That's what the GOAT talk really is. A promise to build something so undeniable that even time stops arguing. People still call his style ugly until the scorecards arrive. They still talk about his awkward rhythm until they're staring at a man who fades length while DDP is busy getting louder in round 4. He knows the accusation by heart. He's too unorthodox, too wild, too easy to read. Right up until the moment it's obvious he was the only one reading correctly. If he leaves Chicago with the belt again, the whispers don't vanish. They get quieter, and that's how a legacy starts. But the road to undeniable runs straight through the one fighter built to deny everybody. Khamzat's brand is simple: start fast, take the air out of the room, and make the other man decide between survival and pride. It isn't wrestling so much as gravity with a mouthguard. Sparring partners keep sprinkling those camp stories, the kind that sound like myths, until the cage door shuts and someone goes for a ride. Even the people picking against him do it with a nervous laugh, like they're writing a will on a napkin. The question has never been, can he break you? It's, what if he doesn't right away? 5 rounds punish assumptions. The longer the night, the more little habits matter. Where the chin hides on the exit, how the feet reset after the scramble, which breath you choose to spend. And if the myth meets a man who won't accept its terms, something gives. The only real mystery is which thing breaks first. On paper, it reads like clarity. Chimaev wants your hips and the fence, your wrists shelved, your base stolen. Plessis wants collisions on his terms. Wide entries that look messy until you feel the knuckles, stance switches that dare you to chase into something sharp. A jab that doesn't win beauty contests but steals minutes. But the paper doesn't say what happens when Dricus frames, turns the corner, and fires the short elbow that cuts early. It doesn't mention the low calf kick that starts landing because the threat of the level change made your stance too narrow. It doesn't log the moments when Chimaev floats from double leg to single to inside trip and forces a scramble no camera angle can perfectly capture. The real fight is always the part we can't chart. Hands on the mat, breath on the neck, one choice late in round 3 when your body begs you to take the safe exit. And what happened next would shock everyone. Insiders split the room before this one. Some swear by Khamzat's early avalanche, others look at Dricus and see a man who just won't stop being there. The first group imagines a quick finish and a coronation. The second group imagines a storm that runs out of rain. They're both looking at the same puzzle and choosing different corners to start with. The truth is boring and brutal. Both are right until somebody is wrong. What they don't talk about enough is how fast reputations can reverse when blood shows up, or when a wizard trips a man into a fence post and turns a clean takedown into a 50-50 you didn't plan for. Predictions are fun, pressure is real, and the next layer isn't about who's stronger, it's about who's more disciplined when the fight gets ugly. Cardio is a lazy word, pacing is the real one. If Khamzat spends his early minutes buying dominance on credit, the interest comes due late. If Dricus throws naked kicks without the jab tax, the takedown interest compounds immediately. The fence is the quiet judge. Who wins the shoulder pummel battle? Who drops the level second? Who peels hands without giving up the crossface? Eyes cut open from short elbows matter more than highlight reels. Judges love clean optics, the man moving forward, the man landing the last shot of an exchange, the man who looks like he's choosing even when he's reacting. These are the small hinges that swing 5-round doors. And there's one more thing. The first time each man smiles, it usually means they felt something they didn't expect. That's the moment to watch. If Chimaev wins, it looks like a suffocation you can draw with arrows. Pressure to fence, level change to chain, top stretch to ground and pound, a neck that gets lazy for half a second. Or it looks like a club in sub, the kind where a right hand hides the shot that actually ends it. If Dricus wins, it looks like chaos tamed. Survive the riptide, jab the eyes honest, chop the legs, make the cage feel small for the guy who wanted to own it, and punish the level change with the uppercut your coaches drilled into your sleep. There's a decision pass for both men too. Volume optics for DDP in the championship rounds, or ride time confidence for Khamzat if the exchanges stall. None of those pictures survive first contact perfectly, but they give you landmarks for the minutes that matter. And then there's the version no one wants to talk about. Titles most often change hands by accumulation, but once in a while they flip on a single mistake. An early cut in the wrong spot, a glove grab the ref doesn't see that sparks a scramble that turns into mount that you didn't plan for, a back take off a lazy underhook, a mouthpiece slip that buys a man 5 seconds and changes around. Those moments build villains and folk heroes in the same breath. If that happens tonight, the post-fight debates won't be about feints and fencecraft, they'll be about fate, luck, and whether a champion is supposed to survive storylines, not just strikes. The truth is uglier and simpler. The belt belongs to whoever solved more problems faster, which brings us to the only prediction that really matters. Dricus' math is slow and cruel. Make Khamzat spend, turn early dominance into later silence, make rounds 4 and 5 a confession. Khamzat Smith is fast and merciless. Remind everyone why the first 5 minutes against him feel like drowning with the ref just close enough to watch. Somewhere between those two ideas is a moment where both men are tired enough to reveal themselves. Maybe it's a DDP left hook on the exit when Khamzat tries to reset his stance. Maybe it's a knee up the middle when Dricus overcommits to framing off a shot. Maybe it's a stall on the fence that looks harmless until an elbow opens a highway over the eyebrow. The winner isn't the one who wants it more, it's the one who gives the fight fewer chances to become random in the minutes when everything tries to be random. People keep saying this is striker versus grappler. It isn't. It's risk manager versus chaos engineer. Khamzat's best weapon isn't the double leg, it's the way his pressure forces you to pick the bad option right now. Dricus' best weapon isn't the overhand, it's the way his stubborn footwork dares you to chase into something sharp. That's why the first clean counter matters. That's why the first stuffed shot changes the shape of the night even if it doesn't win the round. That's why the first time both hands are on the mat feels like an alarm. Championship fights aren't won by hearts, they're stolen by habits. And both habits are built for violence. Watch the jab. It's the quietest lie detector in MMA. When Dricus lands it, Khamzat's entries get honest. When Khamzat blunts it, Dricus' feet narrow and the takedown threat doubles. Watch the head position on the fence. Whoever wins that little war usually wins the next 30 seconds. Watch who breathes through their nose in round 3, who glances at the clock, who touches the cut like they're checking if a memory is leaking. Those are the tiny tells that separate close round from we all knew who had it. If Dricus keeps the belt, the GOAT conversation stops being a dream board and starts being paperwork. He'll still need more maims and more nights, but this one would echo. If Chimaev takes it, the division becomes a puzzle with missing pieces and everyone else becomes a volunteer. Rematches, super fights, bridge tours, the calendar turns into a dare. Either way, the aftermath will be loud. Both men can break the other in their best minutes. The difference is what happens in their worst ones. Tonight favors the fighter who can be boring on purpose for exactly long enough to make the other man make the first ugly choice. That edge is razor thin. Champions live on razor thin. So here's the call. The belt leaves the cage on the waist of the man who solved more problems late than he created early. If you think that's Dricus, you're betting on accumulation. If you think that's Khamzat, you're betting on inevitability. You've seen the face-off, you've heard the camps, you know the math and the myth. So tell me this, when the lights hit round 4, who's still making good decisions? Drop your pick and why in the comments. If you want post-fight chaos breakdowns the second the dust clears, hit subscribe and ring that bell. Next up on the channel, how a single fence exchange flipped a championship round, and how you can spot it before the commentators do.